And we have a poll as well, folks. So if you check the live announcements, I put the poll there. We put this poll up last minute in yesterday's stream, so the votes have still got to build up. I'm going to keep this one open for quite a while. We won't close this one until we feel it's got a very clear winner in the voting. So right now things are pretty close. We've only had a few votes. There's absolutely no idea right now which one's going to win the poll, so that's why I'm going to keep this one open longer. It's not a straightforward poll, this one. It's a little bit more thought into what you put your vote in with this one. But it does definitely help if you watch the lore video I made over the weekend. It's only 3 minutes long, but it'll give you a bit of info on the barrels, or the containers, the sentient objects we have in the game. So she's Carol the barrel. It'll go into the reason why they are alive. Because we've had a few peeps come in and say, so why have we got a barrel in the game that is alive? And people have been very intrigued, so I think it's about time to make a video and tell people why. Because we actually did flesh that out. It was about stream 80, maybe a bit after that, where we talked about that. We decided to get a bit of a story behind Carol. And I think it's pretty cool. And it ties in nicely with Raindrops and the whole currency of the game, and there's a bit of a plot developing from it already. The mystery antagonist is still a question mark, but there has been discussion about who it could be. So a certain character who we've said it could be, or his associate could be the magical user, but we all know who that is. Well, we don't, but some of you might. Poll, exclamation mark poll. Let's get it up. So if you guys want to get there quickly, that's the link to press to click your vote. But to simplify it, it's literally, do we want more sentient objects in the game or not? Are the barrels enough? I say barrels, but we have a box and a cookie jar as well, so it's not just barrels. But are those guys enough for you when it comes to sentient characters? Do you think the spell that brought them to life should affect the whole world and potentially bring in more characters in other areas that are alive that shouldn't be alive? Or should we just say, nah, this should just be exclusive to Everbloom Virus, the one area of the game? Just for a chance to explore other things, other themes, not make the whole game about sentient objects. It's just a preference thing. You can vote for one of those, or you can vote for the middle option, which is B, which is kind of like, well, yeah, we'll have more sentient object games, but we won't go overboard with it. Maybe in just another 1 or 2 areas, but not too much. So we'll see what tops it, because I'm intrigued, because I guess it's like, well, do you guys like this sort of direction, or could it go too much if we keep having sentient objects? Or, I kind of want to see how this comes out. It's an interesting one. So we're getting the votes in, and obviously if people want to give the reason why they voted the one they did, that's totally cool too. I'm intrigued about that, but we'll keep this poll open longer. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's there. We don't want anybody to miss out. But other than that, we will be carrying on with the mapping that we've been doing. I have changed the title. I had it as parallax mapping, but I thought we're not actually parallax mapping yet. We're just doing normal tile mapping right now, so it was a bit of a misleading title. So I've changed it to making a farm. It's a little bit more specific like that, and because that's what we're doing right now, we're making a farm. So whenever we have these sort of map and level design and area designing streams, I'll probably be more specific in the titles and about what I'm making. voted to go crazy with it, so it ends up like Pokemon, got animate them all. Yeah, it's honestly like, it's a very like it's a story and character plot sort of poll. Like, what direction are we going to go in? Like, where are we going to take this plot? Is this Raindrop Chronicles going to be very heavily focused on sentient objects? Is that going to literally be the game, how it'll be known as? Like, if I said to you guys, some Raindrop Chronicles up in one word, well, not one word, one sentence, you'd be like, oh, that's the game with all the sentient objects. Like, is it going to be that kind of game, or is it going to be a game that maybe has the sentient objects in like just the first part of the game, and then it changes to other things and other themes? And you know, it could go either way. It's a preference thing for you guys, the community, and I'm totally neutral with this. I'm happy with whichever one wins, because I'm very fond of our sentient characters, the ones we've made so far. It's allowed us to get super creative and make some really interesting, memorable characters that stand out. Because you don't really get that in many games. You mainly just get boring humans, don't you? Boring humans. Or animals. You get a lot of animals in games, but you don't get objects. Not many. I'd love to know if there's any other games out there that have living objects, though. Because I'd like to have a little look at them for a bit of inspiration, if there is any out there. Maybe there is, and I can't think. But it's quite unique. It makes it memorable, I think. So I like it for that reason. But if C won, I wouldn't hate that either, because I suppose it could like just let us explore other themes, and there's nothing ever wrong with that either. You can think, oh, what can this zone of the game, what can this city be focused on, and maybe be a little bit less magical and more realistic or something. Or we can have anything. Like, this game is a kitchen sink. Just because even if A wins, you know, that doesn't mean we have to constantly make sentient object characters and 90% of them are like that. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that we have the option to create more if we wish to. But we're still obviously gonna, the 8 races we have in the game, humans, dwarves, elves, beasts, etc. They're all going to be there as well. It's not like sentient objects are going to take over the world or something if A won. But that's a good one. Got to animate them all. Be turned into Pokemon. It's a spin-off of Pokemon. Hi Guzmop, how you doing? It's good to see you. Haven't watched the video yet, wanted to see it first before voting. That's very sensible, Kung. And obviously it's optional. Nobody's forced to watch it to vote. But it'll just give you a little bit of insight more. And it could help with your decision with the votes, but it's not forced. I think you can still vote without having to watch the video, but it just helps if you do watch it. I think we tried to word the poll in a way that it would be understanding for people that were new to the stream or hadn't watched the video as well. So yeah, but it's not long, like Gus says. I'm going to purposely try and make any videos like this that I make short. All of them under 5 minutes if possible, but who knows, maybe there'd be a time when I have to make a longer one, but on average I'm going to try and keep them short and sweet for you guys. Are you thinking like building as well? You mean like sentient house? That could be very interesting. Oh my god, a sentient house, yes. It's like B's an interesting choice as well, because that we were like, this farm area that we're doing, that is what kind of made us put up this poll in the first place, because we started getting ideas of sentient creatures from the farm as well. We were like, what if the scarecrows were sentient? They could like be star-crossed lovers. They'd be across the fences, and a road would be in the way separating them. And we were getting all these ideas, and we're like, oh, actually, if scarecrows are sentient too, that means we could have more sentient objects, not just Carol and her kin. And then we thought, yeah, it might put poll up for this, because some of you might be sick of presenting characters by now, so we were like, let's see what people think about this. But right now, people seem to, looking at the poll, even though we don't know for sure what's going to win yet, still very early on, the poll could take a drastic turn. It's looking like people do like the idea of having more of these guys in the game. That spell though, if A does win, that spell, blooming hell, would have been very powerful. We're like, holy crap, it has turned into a very big deal, that spell. Oh my god, buildings that are Starcraft lovers, definitely creative. Buildings as well, Starcraft. Well, I'm on about scarecrows, but imagine it was buildings that were... It would fit for virtually a lot of things, that sort of theme, that's for sure. But, you know, you can get really creative with stories for objects. Maybe the goal should be to empathise with objects and make people realise that they have feelings too. Right, so I voted, yay, Fantasia. Thank you for the votes, guys. I appreciate that. So I'll be reminding people about the poll throughout the stream, just to let people know that nobody misses out. But we will be carrying on with more mapping, making our farm. I'm going to open RPG Maker now. And oh yeah, I didn't get to do much last night because things came up and ended up distracting me. So we're going to be carrying on from where we left off yesterday. There's not much extra done, which I hate it when that happens because I love to do some off stream and show you guys. I live and breathe it. Okay, so Discord is going to get hidden for a bit. Okay, here we are. So we're making our farm. We've been taking our sweet time with it just because we want to make it super pretty. And normally I'd say we'd be done with this by now. The original goal was to have finished by Monday, but that hasn't happened. Mainly because of distractions, plus the YouTube video ended up taking a bit of a chunk out my weekend, but it was totally worth it. Totally worth it doing that YouTube video. Right, so we're going to just carry on. I think doing this mapping, getting the cutscene finalised, probably might take through the rest of the week, but we'll see how it goes. So we got 2 maps now. We recently decided to make 2 maps of the farm rather than 1, just for the purpose of the fact that we have a wagon, a travelling wagon in this area, and if we only have 1 map, it'll give the impression that it hasn't travelled far at all, because we see the view of the farm at the start of the flashback, and then we see the farm again at the end of the flashback, and the wagon would have travelled a bit during that point, because the conversation that happens on the wagon is a pretty lengthy one, and it can be potentially even longer too if you decide to go with the option of finding out more about the crew. But you don't have to. But a lot of you might have not seen this cutscene yet. It depends if you was around a couple of weeks ago when we was working on the cutscene a lot, and the dialogue as well. So some of you might not have seen it yet if you've only started recently hanging around. But I will be doing a sneak peek video of this one. Once it's done, I think it'll be worth it because we don't have a cutscene sneak peek yet. I'm going to try and do lots of sneak peeks, but at the same time I don't want to show the whole game on a sneak peek because I want some things to at least be a surprise. But it's hard to keep things a surprise on a Twitch stream when you're streaming the development of a game. Obviously a lot of spoilers will get revealed on stream, so it's not very easy to keep things under wraps. But there's always going to be people out there that don't come to the streams that will end up playing this game one day, and now everything will be a surprise for them. Okay, so let's carry on. Should we work on map 1 first or map 2? Right, so one thing we did discuss yesterday was about the different kinds of crops we could have here. We even mentioned that some of these fruits could have originally been born here. And obviously if the spell is a global thing, or if it's, you know, it at least got to nearby areas, that means that is why they're alive too, because the spell affected them. Otherwise, if C wins the poll and it was contained to the Everbloom Forest, then that means we'd have to make them just be born in the Everbloom Forest, or they could have travelled to the Everbloom Forest by wagon cart and come to life then. That could work too. So whatever wins the poll out of the options, we won't, you know, it'll work either way. We'll make it work either way, basically. But yes, the idea is that some of these fruits did come from the farm. So we have tomatoes here. I did want to change the colour a bit so they match more with the colour of Mr. Emo Tomato here. And then we were going to have blueberries, and just blueberries, I think, because lemons and apples come from trees, and this isn't really a tree area, so we might have them originate from the Everbloom Forest. And what I was thinking of doing was turning some of the trees into fruit trees with lemons and apples on them. So 2 of them would have been born here, and which would be the lemon and the apple, and the blueberry and the tomato. The younger ones, the babies of the group, would have been born here. And Plum's a mystery. We don't know where Plum's from. He's a very mysterious character, that Mr. Plum is. So those of you that don't know who these guys are, these are the first boss of the game. We still have yet to create the cutscene before and after the boss battle. But we did spend quite a few streams discussing the battle mechanics for these guys, and we started putting the battle together. And we will be returning to that once we've finished this cutscene, this flashback sequence, because that will be the next part in the quest. As soon as the hero Rose and Nat have listened to Carol and got her backstory, the player will be free to roam the Everbloom Forest again, and after a couple of maps they'll encounter these guys, and a cutscene will take place, the battle will happen, and then quest 2 will finish, and quest 3 will start then, main quest 3. And at the moment it's a little bit, we don't know how many main quests will be in episode 1. I think I want it to at least be a bit chunky. I want you guys to get enough content out of episode 1, so I could see somewhere between 6 and 10 main quests in episode 1, depending on how long they are. If they're longer, then maybe half a dozen is a good thing to aim for, but if they're shorter, then maybe more towards 10. But it's hard to say right now because we've only done 2 main quests, but those main quests are pretty chunky, and I think that's kind of what we're going to go for, chunky, lengthy main quests rather than lots of tiny little filler ones. And they're all going to have, all of them are going to be memorable. I'm going to try and make sure that our quests in this game all add something to the game rather than be bland and filler. 2 years and 5 months, oh my god, how that has gone by so fast. It's crazy, isn't it, Fantasia? That means that you'd have been one of our early ones here in the stream when I was a baby streamer. That's a long time, I know. Does that work for me? A user cannot follow themselves. That makes no sense. It's meant to be themselves, not themselves, isn't it? That's funny. Baby Rose, yeah. I wanted to know, I wanted to do it because I wanted to see, it would tell me how long I'd been streaming, I hoped, but it's true, we cannot follow ourselves. That's too bad. Right, so one thing we did do with the 2 maps is we had the pigs on one map, but we don't have them on the other map. So the middle section here doesn't have the pigs on, we'll have crops instead. And we got the scarecrows on the second map, but we don't have them on this map. So we're going to try and make them as different as possible to each other. We'll hide the fruits now. So what we could do, I'm thinking of getting rid of the tomatoes and replacing them with maybe blueberries then. So map 1, no, map, ooh. Or blueberries could go here, behind the blue one. The colours would match. Because we've already got red tomatoes behind the red scarecrow. I mean, we're not 100% sure that these are the colours that we'll have for the scarecrows, but it feels like it makes sense if we go for blueberries and have them there. Colour matters. Gotta make it pretty and match. But I do like the sunflowers, but we could always switch the sunflowers to somewhere else. We could put the sunflowers on that map. Oh, we can't actually, because we said that we like the brown ground, and I said the reason I don't like the too much brown, and we would have too much brown. But we could put them here. Oh no, we couldn't. We could put them here. Yeah, that could work. All the decisions. So we got to do this bit by bit because there's a lot of crops to replace now. And hopefully we end up with 2 super pretty maps when we're done with it. So, right, and we still need to put the trees here. We started doing that on this map, but we haven't finished it for the other map. As soon as we're happy with the crops and all the variety of the farm with the crops, and we've put the trees down and everything, we can move on to making a parallax map of it then and start adding some extra detail. I think that would be super cool. Not as long as others, I am baby. Fantasia. The keyboard has attacked Fantasia, I think. My goodness. 28th position. Yay, that is pretty good. Thank you so much for all the lurking. Okay, so blueberries. Right, first of all, let's change the colour of these tomatoes. So I'm going to get Photoshop up very shortly. I'm going to look at some blueberry references in a bit, of course, because I want to make sure we're accurate with crops. I don't want to do a blueberry farm that looks nothing like a blueberry farm. Right. Now I need to find our tile set that we were using for our farm, because I have crossed it off. Here we go. Here it is. Right. So let's open Photoshop. So this is our tomato. And where's our friend Mr. Tomato? He's here somewhere. We'll just open the image. Get a colour picker. We'll get his darkest colour and we'll get his lighter colour. Right, so at the moment the tomatoes are pretty deep. I'm going to actually bring him in. I'm going to copy and paste him, because seeing him next to the tomatoes we'll be able to get an accurate colour. Oh, he's a big boy. Because one thing you should know about me, guys, if it's something you don't know already, I'm very much someone who pays attention to detail with things. And little things like this, like making sure that the tomatoes match with the colour of our tomato character, are important to me. You know, if it is him and he was born here, he's one of these little guys, then, you know, he has to look like him. And certain things might not get spelt out. Like, this could be something we keep very subtle, like, and let people figure out for themselves that tomato is one of these. Or we could always just spell it out if it ever is something that we want to have as a to make clear to people. We could go either way. Okay, so when we do this, it does change the colour of everything if we're not careful. So we're probably better to just grab these. So change it to there we go. So we've only got the tomatoes there, and now we won't change the colour of everything else. Hooray! So it definitely can be a little bit tricky to get the matching colours. Put him under him. I mean, as long as it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but as long as it looks believable, because the red was definitely a bit off before. Definitely a little bit on the deep. So, oh no, we're changing the colour of tomato now. Epic fail. Because he's a sort of, he's red, but there's a sort of orangey tint to him. He's definitely more orange than, well, it's hard to say, but I think we were a little bit there. We're closer now. We're a little bit closer. Or we could, you know, we could do this another way. We could always just colour it in by colour picking. Let's just compare and see, because we don't want to get rid, in case this looks a complete mess, because it might do, but let's see. Because there's only 3 different shades of red here, so it's not like it's that hard to colour in. There's a light, there's a medium, and there's a dark. So I'm picking out tomatoes, darkest, medium and lightest colours for this. And this is probably the way we're going to get 100% the most accurate. Oops, did I not pick the darkest colour? Oh, I didn't colour that one in, that's why. Silly bitty. I could have done this an easier way. I could have selected all the same colour with the magic wand. I'm doing it the sly way. You have to excuse me. Sometimes I do that. Maybe it's a bit too light, but I agree with lighter than they are. It's also, it could be a challenge because you want it to look good against the green leaves as well and stand out. So it looks nice and pretty. But I think having a lighter colours could make it stand out more than the deep red. So this hopefully might look okay when it's zoomed out. That colour picker is not behaving itself, I'll tell you that. Keeps picking the wrong colour lately. I think I need a point sample. So those colours are exactly the colours of Mr. Tomato. And guess is what we think. The more pinky red definitely stands out more than the red. And that is literally the colour of him. So shall we go for that? I guess we should see what it looks like on the farm, because they might end up looking weird, but because it's true that the darker ones look a bit more like tomatoes, but we gotta just go with what he is. But you know, that wouldn't be hard to believe it was him, that one there. But that one is definitely too dark. We could always make that a touch darker. I think maybe that's a teeny bit light. They might be okay. So you'll have to go now, buddy. We don't want you on the tile set. We'll see what it looks like. I don't want to commit to anything, so I always don't flatten the layers until I'm sure. So save. To turn off RPG Maker and load it again, as we always do when we have new images. Okay, so it is here. I mean, the colours are what Mr. Tomato is, but I don't know. I'm thinking they look a little bit light, just a touch, because they're starting to look more like not tomato-y enough. So it doesn't matter if we make them a touch darker. I don't think, as long as we keep it believable that it's him and it's still like the same kind of red. It doesn't matter if it's a touch darker. So I think no, those ones we did were fine actually. Because it's similar. I'm just hoping they stand out enough. So just maybe make that middle bit a little bit lighter to give it a bit more. Because they looked like pink little berries, didn't they? They're a bit so light that they look pink, and then they no longer look like tomatoes. So sometimes you have to be a little bit careful. But definitely that looks like him. That one was him, like the exact colours, but that is like just a slightly darkened version of them basically. They still have their tomato appearance. So I think that is probably the best one to go for, that one there. So let's save it again. And Kung agrees, yay! All the decisions. I wonder how many decisions I make a stream with this game. Hi Damnable Bear, welcome to the stream. Dropping in while I work from home. Interested to see what you're up to. Hope all is well in these crazy times. Welcome to the stream. It's good to meet you. Thank you for stopping in. I hope the homework is going well. Homework. Haven't done homework for a long time. Well, the working from home. I'll reword that. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so now we have got, I think they're a little bit better now. For sure, we've recolored them. Let's open it. And they're not as light as they were before, but they're definitely lighter and a little bit more matching with our tomato character now. So I'm totally good with that edit, and we can do some blueberries now. And I think we'll put the blueberries behind our blue scarecrow so they can match, which means we'll move the sunflowers elsewhere. We'll find a spot for them. Right. So I'm going to have to look at some reference images, because I will admit I am no pro on blueberries. How blueberries farms look. Blueberry farm. Because when we're adding the assets, we want to make sure we at least get them somewhat accurate. So I'm going to have to get... right, so... I'm gonna have to... I have two Google Chromes open right now. So I'm gonna have to drag... There we go, we've got it. We've got it. Hey Rose, how you been? Hi Rod, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Hope you are doing good. And right, so anybody that is new, because I have seen a couple of new faces, we'll make sure you've seen our website, because that is the place to be if you want to know more about our game. Feel free to check it out. Anybody that's lurking as well. Okay, so we got some blueberries here. I mean, the easiest thing to do would be to just recolour the tomato plants to blue ones, but would that work? I don't want people going, but Rose, blueberry farms don't look like that. Yeah, tomatoes definitely, yeah, they seem to be grown very much like the asset we've got. And I like those green ones as well, which we have for our asset too. But blueberries might be a bit different. So there's plenty of crop assets that I've got. There's some that are plants, there's some that are, but I'd have to just do a recolouring of them so that they look like blueberries. And I want to make sure we get the right type of plant for this. And a lot of these it's hard to tell because they're zoomed in. And I'll admit I've never been blueberry picking before. I'm ashamed of myself. Blueberries are good though, they're yummy. It just looks like a normal plant coming out the ground, doesn't it? I'm just curious if there's any other ways that they're grown, or whether they generally all look like that. Want to see how you were doing? Yeah. I appreciate that, Rod. What have you been up to? What have you been watching? Any scary movies or playing any video games recently? What's been on your agenda? I'm gonna put blueberry and tomato farm. Might not have them both together, but because we don't have an asset that's blueberry crop, like there's no blueberry asset, so we have to redo a recoloring of another one. And okay, so let's have a look what we've got now, see if we can get one that looks like a blueberry should. So I don't know that blueberry, from what I've seen of the reference images, blueberries don't grow like tomatoes, but correct me if I'm wrong. But we do have, where have we got some more crop assets? We have this one. We could change them to blue. Would they look like blueberries then? Or are blueberries bunched up, or are they separate? Actually, I need to look. Do they look like grapes, or do they look like tomatoes? I need to check that. I'm a noob. But we could just do a recolouring of that one, because the plant that I saw in the reference images did have that kind of look. That's if they're not bunched up, that is. Blueberry farm. Because they're not big, are the blueberries, like tomatoes, but in our game they kind of are. They're all the same size, our fruits are, because this is proof. So it don't matter if but we could say Blueberry is just a big boy and he grew up to be big. Only watching good wholesome movies. Wholesome movies are good to watch. Any that you recommend? They're like grapes, but I'm pretty sure they stem from a single source rather than spread out like a grape bunch. Oh, right. So yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Should we use a grape? Because I have a grape asset as well. But I also have that red one here. So it's either shall we use this red one and recolour it, or this one. I've got to just find it, because there was one and I've lost it now. It might be on the internet though. Oh, here it is. Let me just switch to this screen. Can't zoom in. It's not zooming me in. But this one here. There's oh, there we go. It's zoomed in now. This purple one. They're grapes. And they're all bunched up, as you can see, and they are exactly what grapes look like. So we could either, you know, base the blueberries on grapes and just make them blue and say they're blueberries, or we could make them blue and say they're blueberries. It's whatever one looks the most like blueberries, I guess, out of the two, and what would be the most believable. And this is why I'm looking at reference images now, because I want to make sure that I pick the right one. But like you said, they are like grapes, but they're different in a way, because they're not exactly like grapes. So now this is the dilemma. Depends on if you have them on the ground or in a bush. The American ones are bigger. So there are different ways that blueberries can look. It's not always the same, which is always good, because it lets us be a bit more flexible, I suppose. And I mean, as I said, this is a fantasy game, so it doesn't hurt if we do it a little bit our own way now and again with these things. But at the same time, I do like to consider how things are in real life too. I don't want to go too overboard and make things too unrealistic. And it's educational anyway to research into these things sometimes. So worth it. Okay, so let's get back our reference image. So yeah, we've got a bit of a choice there. We got a red plant there, or we've got the purple grape looking plant that we had there, and it's just decided now which one we should go for the blueberries before we do recolour them. Okay, so here we are. I'm gonna look at them again because they kind of, yeah, they're bunched up like grapes, but they're big, they're different. Because they're big, them red ones, that red plant there that we've got in Photoshop there, they're juicy big. Juicy big. But they're not going to look as big in in RPG Maker, I don't think, when we put them in. Let's zoom to their normal size. 100%. Yeah, they'll look smaller. A little bit smaller. They definitely look big when you zoom in like that. Juicy big. So yeah, what do you reckon, folks? Do you vote for that red one or the purple one that we had up earlier? You guys feel free to say, otherwise I'll have to pick. So yeah, here we go. Let's get it up again. So that's the purple one. Because right now I'm torn. We're gonna get, if we do pick that one, we'd get rid of the brown bit though, I think. We'd just have the actual plant coming out the ground. But decisions. The red one. Okay, Kung says red. So what I am going to do then is grab this in for now and look at how it compares to the size of the tomatoes, because it's on a different tile set and I'm curious. They're actually the same size then by the look of it. There's not much difference anyway. I also really like how these ones are coloured in as well, so I might make a slight edit to the tomato so they have similar shading so we can be consistent. But yeah, there's not much size difference, so I'd say red. Okay, cool guys, it's good to get some feedback sometimes, especially when it comes to farmer stuff, because I am no pro, and sometimes I think, is that the right plant we should be using for this? Right, so we're gonna have to split these up onto different tile sets, because we got 3 different variations here. As you can see, we got when it's slightly grown, medium grown and full grown, which is cool because when we put them in the game we can give the impression that some of them are not quite grown yet, and it's good for variety. So we need to find a space for them. Because these sunflowers are in the way. What I could do is just get rid of these for now, because I don't think we're going to be having these ones. Because I did put them in originally, and although they look lovely, I don't think they looked right in our farm. There was something a bit off about them. But I don't want to completely uncommit to using them. I don't want to get rid of them for good. So I'm going to still keep them there, but just put them on a separate layer for now, just in case we decide we want them back. But we'll put the tomatoes here for now, because it'd be nice to compare them to the, well, they'll be blueberries, not tomatoes. It'd be nice to compare them to the tomatoes and see if we can get them consistent with each other. We'll actually put this full grown one here. Might need to make sure they're aligned properly though in a bit. Right, so first of all I'm going to change these to blue. So we can make them look like blueberries, and once we've done that I'm actually going to change the shading of these a bit so they match a bit more, because I really like the shading on this one. They look so juicy. So also these are green, and I know it's because tomatoes start out green when they're growing. A blueberry's any different when they start growing? That's the question, because if they are, we might have to throw away that asset and just use the depends. So growing blueberries, I want to see the growing process now. They start out green as well. Yeah, all right. If they do, that makes our life much easier because we don't have to do any intense editing. But yeah, that's as we can see here, they're green. Hooray. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for all your help, guys. I appreciate the feedback because it's just very helpful. They go green to pinkish to blue. Ooh, okay. So normally I would think, okay, let's maybe make a pink one as well, but we've already got the sort of pink tomatoes, so maybe we'll just stick to what we've got. So let's get all the red bit. We're grabbing some green there though. So, you know, recolour these juicy things now. It's making me want some blueberries, this is. Okay, I think we've, well, sort of got it all. There we go, I think that's all of it. So, see what they look like when we make them blue. But actually, we're gonna grab blueberry and make sure we get the right blue. Because sometimes blueberries can be a bit more on the purple side, some I've noticed, but because we have a plum character, we had to make sure we didn't make it too purple. So he looks funny when he's when he's resized like that. American ones are more grey blue and the normal ones are more dark blue, but bought in on purple blue. Yeah, as Kung said, that's funny actually, because I was talking about how some are purple. And our blueberry's very blue, isn't he? He's a very blue boy. Simply because of Plum. I didn't want him to look too similar to Plum. I wanted the colours to be very obviously different from each other. Oh, am I colouring the wrong thing in here? There we go. I think I was doing the wrong one, the wrong layer. There's a few little pixels that we didn't grab, I can see, so we might just have to manually recolour those. And we might have to do this twice as well. To get the actual colour we want. So we've got purple there, but I think we might need to do it again to get the blue. Right. And sometimes you can do the hue change and that can be easier, but sometimes I think it makes the colours not look as good. But sometimes it's worth doing it that way. So I'm actually going to see if it works. But I'm in a habit of using the selective colour adjustment at the moment, because I found it really worked well for other assets that we've changed the colour of. But for this, it's probably Yeah, it's probably going to work better to do it this way. Hope you have a good evening and rest. Yeah, you too, Rod. I hope you have a super chill day with wholesome movies. And thank you for that follow as well, Bear. I super appreciate that. Good to have you with us. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to get the exact blue, so we'll just pick a blue and just alter it a touch with selective colour. Probably the best thing to do. And there's a few pixels that are a bit, like I said, we might need to change. So now we can get the blue we want a bit more from this. I think we're getting close, aren't we? I think we're getting close to his colour. It's hard to say sometimes. Would you say that's close to him, guys? More yellow, more blue, more magenta. Sometimes it's... I think that we're probably going to get as close as we can. But if anyone thinks it needs a slight alteration, then don't be afraid of saying. So I'm just gonna get rid of these orange pixels that we've got here. The only thing about this blue bit is something looks weird about that. Was that meant to be blue? Well, yeah, there was a bit of red there, so I think it's meant to mean there is a little bit of fruit there, just it's hidden away by the leaves. All pretty, yeah, they do look super pretty, don't they? I'm actually quite pleased with that recolouring. I think we got pretty close to our adorable little blueberry there. But I definitely want to turn the tomatoes so they match more with that shading, because I think they could look really juicy if we do that. Hi God, welcome back. Oh my God, it's funny saying hi God. That's really funny. Welcome back. Do you work for some company or are you solo? Oh, I'm solo. Why, yeah. This is all my own thing. So yes. Looks good. I actually feel like the orange pixels make them look better somehow. The orange... Oh, did you? Because I think they were meant to be like part of the tomato that I missed out in the background. And I'm a bit of a neat freak like that with pixels that weren't meant to be there. But interesting. It just shows how subjective things are sometimes, because I do like them. You could also put one or two pinkish ones in a regular blueberry plant, indicating that more is still growing. We could do that. You know these yellow ones here? We could make them pink instead of yellow, maybe. What do you reckon? And maybe that'll just give it a nice... It'll look really nice having the extra colour in then, and maybe that's why you liked the bit of red there. So it just set it off a bit more, perhaps. Right, so I'm gonna make sure I get the right layer because we've got a few here. Yeah, it's the contrast. I do definitely see a point there. So we could definitely grab this yellow and make it a bit more pink to give it that look that we've got some growing ones. So I don't know if we're going to get the pink we want exactly, so we'll just get them a bit more orange and we'll use selective colour. Okay, so I'm going to have a mess around, and if we get to a pink that you guys think is really cool, then let me know, because I don't have a reference image actually of should it be pale or dark? Because that's more of a pale pink, and that looks quite cool. Little less saturation. Let's do that then. So it's probably quite pale when they're growing, aren't they? I couldn't imagine them being bright pink, like a pastel. Awesome. So something like that. Now that's definitely more saturated. But yeah, that looks quite pretty. Oh, we've got some there as well, I see. So I'm thinking we won't have them on those two plants because it's nice to have it on that one, I think. And keep those more green because they've only just started growing. Okay, so I think he's close. We put him under the plant so we see if he matches. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He's a very similar colour. Don't think we're going to get much closer than that. Okay, so tomatoes. What I'm going to do then, you get one of these juicy tomatoes and you just copy it. I mean, we could even do it if we want to do it a quick way, where we just literally stick them over these tomatoes, and then we don't have to reshade the whole thing. We're gonna have to fill in a bit of it though, and we just change them to back to that colour, and then it's a consistent look. We might have to do it to them as well. We might not have to. Yeah, maybe we should. Hi, just stopping by to tell you that you have a really great image for About section. It's well drawn and actually looks like you, which is a rarity for this type of art. Yeah, I had a very, very excellent artist do that for me. I was really happy with it. I'll give you in the website. Actually, it is in my panels. The website is, but of the artist that did that. But it's right at the bottom, and it might get missed. So it's there under the info section, but I'll give it you here because if you are interested in seeing the rest of his work or contacting him for a commission, then you totally should, because it is really cool art style. And yeah, it does look like me, doesn't it? I look like a badass in that photo. I was flattered by it. Because I'm not a badass in real life. Also, thanks for the votes on the poll, folks, as well. I'm going to put the poll there so anyone can get a vote in on the latest poll that we've got up. And I wouldn't want anyone to miss out. You do have to join the Discord to vote, though. Because it's just the best. We found it's the best way of doing votes. So we're less likely to get cheating that way if you're on the Discord. Than if we used websites for polls, and it keeps all the community together. So it works well. But welcome to the stream, Ty. I think I said welcome, but I might not have. Good to have you here. Okay, so what were we in the middle of? Oh yes, we were recolouring the tomatoes, the shading of them I mean, because we really liked how juicy these blueberries look. So we want to give the same look to our tomato plant as well. So we are missing a few pixels. So we need to make sure we shade this in right, because I don't think we have a full blueberry. What will happen if we do this? That sort of works. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that square because it makes it look a bit less round. So I might... just put a green there. Samer, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follows, folks. And because I've noticed we're getting some new peeps hanging out, I want to make sure you know about our website, guys, because it's the best place to find out more info. There's going to be an FAQ page up there in the coming weeks, as well as a credits page and a sneak peeks page. There's still definitely more to get up there that'll be handy. The FAQ page in particular for some important questions and answers. But there's still some good stuff on there, if you want to say. Okay, so... I'm going to just recolour that now to the same colour as these and see how it looks in comparison. So we'll just... because I think there's something slightly lacking about the shading in those ones. They look a little bit less juicy. So it'd be super cool if we can get this looking similar to this tomato. That's a little bit pink. That's pretty close, but let's edit it a touch. Ooh, it's a bit bright. We want it to be as close as possible to this colour if we can, because this is the colour of our tomato character, who you can see here, and that's who we're basing this on. Because the lore is that these guys were born from these, so we try to make them the same colour as much as we can. So we might have to make it a little bit on the brighter side and just change the saturation a little bit maybe. I actually think it looks better when it's a bit brighter, and it doesn't matter if it is a brighter version, to be honest, because we want it to look juicy, and generally brighter things look more juicy. So still looks like our tomato boy, and that's the main thing. Don't know if I was right doing that outline, but So there's some colours in here that could do with a bit of a change, I think. I'm being a fuss pot again. Okay, so I think we're close. I think we're it's not a lot of difference. A little bit bigger, and there's a tiny bit more shading on them than there was on the original ones, and they just look a little bit more like the blueberries. It's good to be consistent with our art styles. I'm trying the best I can to have a consistency, and that can be a challenge to do when you're using multiple resources and assets from different artists. So sometimes edits will be made so we can get them looking accurate, and it doesn't no harm at all in spending a bit of extra time perfecting it so we can get it all looking to our liking. But I think that's not too bad now. I think we've got an improvement on the tomato. I'm just thinking maybe if we just lighten that a touch, it'll look a little bit more juicy. Ghosty, thank you for the host. How are you doing, Ghosty? I like your Siri photos, by the way. Your Siri cosplay that you posted on the Discord. Looking good. Is there any cosplay of that Ghosty can't pull off? That's what I'm wondering. You could do all the video game waifus. You really can. I want to see a Yennefer cosplay from Ghosty now. I appreciate that, host Ghosty. Okay, so we've literally, I did it the easy way. I instead of recolouring the tomatoes, I thought, yeah, let's just stick them over. And I don't know, maybe we should flip some so that there's a bit of variety. I don't know, we'll see how it looks. I smell food. I smell food. Okay, so we get in there. I'm surprised I can smell food already because it's nowhere near dinner time yet. Yeah, it looks a little bit square in parts. So I'm going to make sure that we get rid of these square looking tomatoes. What are you eating today? I have no idea actually. A lot of the time it's a surprise because I'm not the cook in the house. My dad is, because I still live with my fam at the moment because it's cheap. My dad is the one who loves to cook here, so he generally does a lot of cooking, and I'm always in my room all day, especially on the days I stream for hours. so I never actually know what dinner's going to be. It's always a surprise. Okay, so I think we have a very juicy looking tomato plant there. Let's see the difference between what it looked like before and what it looks like now. So we'll merge those layers. So that's what it looked like before, and that's what it looks like now. Bigger and juicier tomatoes that match with our blueberries. And we're going to do the same as well with these ones. Now, it'd be nice if we make them look like the green ones on this plant, if we can. Now what we could do is literally just we've got two options. We can just use that, or we can just recolor this one. But will it look pretty? That's the question. Will we get a good looking green color change? Ooh, not too bad. I think that's pretty close. Definitely a bit bright though than how it looked before. Just a few little small adjustments. Okay, so there's a few pixels that shouldn't be there. Look. So I'll just move them out of the way to get rid of them. I got rid of my history again. Keep doing that. Okay, so just want to make sure it's aligned correctly. Yeah, there's some like red. Yeah, they shouldn't be. They were a bit shifted where they shouldn't have been. I knew something was off. There, that's it. There we go. So that's definitely. I think it looks, they look nice like that. Just to match more with our blueberries a bit, but we'll see what they look like in RPG Maker first. We'll put them in and see. Okay, so cross off the Discord. We don't want that up yet. Okay. I might darken them just as like a touch, just a touch, because I think they might look right. So as long as it still looks like tomato, we'll check. No, not that red. I want to edit. Okay, so he's a little bit of a bright boy here, so just saturation, a touch. I mean, I want it making them look juicy, but still like our tomato is the goal. Because he's not a bright one, he's not too bright in colour, that's for sure. He's not like super red or anything. So I think that could work, how that looks there. Just slightly a bit more desaturated. And blueberry was the same colour, he looks perfect. So, one more thing though, I completely forgot about. Also, the pink bits are back. I mean, they don't look terrible when they're zoomed out like that, but they're not meant to be there, really. Even if they look good, it bothers me that it was actually originally the light red because of the tomatoes, so I'm going to have to get rid. You can keep the brown bits, though, because that's part of the leaves. Right, so there was one thing. I'm just merge layers now. Merge. Actually, before I do that, Hi Rose, how's the game going? Hi Amber, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Not going too bad. We're making a farm today. That's what we've been doing the last few streams. It's for a cutscene that's happening, so we're doing our best to get some really pretty looking crops and fruit plants and stuff, so we can make a really lovely farm. So that's the goals at the moment. And these ones here are actually these guys. Wow, it's a theory that they could be them, and that from these plants were how they originated. They were born from these plants. So, well, the tomato and the blueberry anyway. Right, something else. Thank you for the follow, Platus. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and you as well. Hope things are going well and you're chilling, playing video games, watching cool stuff. It's what we were born to do. Yay, hi, welcome. Those emotes are very nice. I like them. Hope you are all good. And also, guys, just gonna let you know again, because I don't want anyone to miss out on voting on the new poll that we put up yesterday. If you'd like to vote, that is. But you do have to join the Discord if you want to vote. But we do polls quite often, all related to the direction we take, anything in the game at all. Whenever we feel like doing a poll, we make one. Because they're fun. Polls are fun. Right, so what I wanted to do was actually change the colour of these leaves just so they match more with the leaves here. We'll see if we can and how they look if we do change the colours. Only just a touch, I think, because they're not too far off. So we'll just made them a little bit more green. Can barely tell the difference though. Okay, so there's definitely a difference now. They're just a bit more green than there was. Because I want them to look close to that. And I think they are a little bit closer to that now. Still think that's a touch darker, but we'll it's not too bad. Okay, so we'll get these properly in the tiles now, make sure they're aligned, and we will start putting them on the farm and see how pretty they look. Hopefully they look good, because we haven't tested how they look yet, so I will see. Okay, I think they're aligned, maybe. If not, then we'll just edit. And maybe the colours aren't 100%, but if I want to be super precise, I'll change those afterwards. But let's get them in first. So I'm just going to save these again. and we're gonna put them in. Also, these have gone off a bit, I've noticed. When did that happen? Yeah, they've gone off. Is that just something that just happened, or did it happen way after? It looks like it did. That means we're gonna have to, how did that happen? Silly me. Just shift everything now. I think that is how it should be. Which means we've got to move these again. How are you? Not doing too bad. Just having fun, making a game. Thank you for asking. Right. And if anyone is new here, we got a website for you to look at, and also been posting stuff on YouTube channel. If you're interested in catching up on what we've been doing, then feel free to have a peep, and feel free to ask me any questions as well, because I know there's not an FAQ page up yet or anything, so if there is anything you're curious about, I'm always happy to answer. Oh yeah, that's it. I don't know how that happened, but everything on the tile that just went off center for some reason. Okay, so save it again. Ooh, damn, Baba. Let me read that out. I have to say, I love how relaxed of a pace you're taking with this. If it were me, I'd be trying to rush it along and it would just make it unenjoyable. I would get too discouraged from not having a finished project right off the bat. But sometimes I have to remember that it's about the journey. So there's something calming about noodling with some of this art for a while, just to make it just right. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely, you have to be careful, because if you don't pace yourself, you could so easily burn out with something like this and put stress on yourself that's unnecessary. So you definitely have to be careful, and that's important to me. I always try to do it at a steady pace so that doesn't happen and the project remains enjoyable. And I think it really helps that it's episodic, this game. It takes off a lot of the pressure in having to get a finished thing done quickly, because I feel like if it was a full game, there'd be so much pressure and time. You'd think, oh my goodness, and it would feel like I'd have to rush it more. But because it's episodic, I can like totally, it feels just less pressure, because I know I only need to have several hours of content and not like 50 hours. So it just definitely more relaxing that way, for sure. And but I totally understand it, because it's hard. I mean, I get like it sometimes. I think, oh my goodness, should I be doing this faster, this map? Should I just finish it now and be done with it? But I'm like, nope, we'll make the most of it. We want to take our sweet time and be happy with it rather than rush. I definitely feel you get more enjoyment when you don't rush something, because it's about quality rather than quantity as well, I think. And hi Fikran as well, Gretchen, Sky, and oh my goodness, Willow Scale, aka Charlie is here as well with a raid, a big raid there. I hope you're doing wonderful, everybody from Charlie's stream. I hope you had a fantastic stream. How did it go? And thank you so much again for being so sweet and bringing your community over to me. You're way too kind to me. League of Legends today, how's that going? Oh my goodness, I'd be so bad at that game. I'd be terrible. I'd be losing left, right and centre. And hi Jack and Goose and Jimmy Thurn. How are you guys doing? Hope I haven't missed anyone's name. How is How are things? How is the stream? How's the gaming going? It is definitely a time to be playing video games 24/7. And that is great. Playing games all the time. And nice to see you around again. Fikran, how are you doing? And Gretchen Sky as well. Hope things are going good for you. I find these streams incredibly relaxing. Gretchen says, thank you so much. I'm so glad you like coming here, Gretchen, that you think they're relaxing. That is the goal. We try and make this a chill place here. That's for sure. And don't look at that raid, all you lovely peoples. Also, stream was great, thanks. I'd mix it up a bit with some LOL. Yeah, well, I hope it was fun. I hope you kicked everybody's butts. I hope you did. Gonna figure that out. Oh, you're getting a PO box. That's exciting. That's fun. Things haven't changed much from yesterday, but if anything, I'm on track to keep a positive attitude on things. Well, that's always good, Fikran. And as you guys, I hope you know, we have a channel in our Discord for if you're ever like, you know, feeling a bit meh and need to then let some things off your chest. That channel is totally there for you guys to use, and we won't judge you or anything. We're very nice here, but I feel like it's a channel that's very good because I don't, like, as you know, I try and keep the stream a happy place and keep it very chill. So at the same time, I want you guys to be able to, don't ever want you to feel like you're alone either, so that's what that channel's for. But that's a good attitude, Fikran, for sure. And thank you, Azrael, for the command. Appreciate it. Thank you for that follow as well. I appreciate that. And if you are new to the stream as well, I hope you all had an awesome, enjoyed Charlie's stream. Don't forget to follow Charlie if you're not following her yet, because if you're not, then you're missing out on, you know, having an amazing friend in your life, because she's pretty awesome. She's from UK like me, and she has good taste in games. She likes The Witcher 3. She likes Jaime Lannister too, which is, if you like Jaime Lannister, you get 110 a bazillion plus points in my book. So yeah. But yeah, if you are new here and you've come from Charlie's stream, then we make a game here in our channel, and we do have a website that I recently launched for the game, so have a peep if you'd like to. It'll tell you more. We're going to get more pages up, including an FAQ page in the near future as well. Massive plus. She puts up with me as well. Who wouldn't be able to put up with Azrael though? Anybody who couldn't put up with Azrael must have problems. Azrael's very, very kind. Jamie's definitely top of the list, Kappa. Kappa? No way. No way could that be sarcastic. He is top of the list. And she has a great sense of humour. She does. She's super easy to talk to, and I like going in Charlie's streams. It's very chill in there too. Your sprites look so cute. Thank you. And yeah, we do. We have walking sprites along here. These are all the characters we've got in the game currently, actually. They're all community characters. So anybody that's hanging out here in the streams at the moment and is a character in the game pops up here in on the side. It's the stream avatar little tool thing. Some of you might have heard of it before. They're cute. My favourite area zone is the whole of Link's Awakening game, to be honest. Oh, really, Jim? Thanks for answering the question. We do have a question of the week thing now. It's something I'm going to think of a new question every week, and I'm also going to have it relevant to what we're doing in the stream, because we're making a farm at the moment in our game. We're finding lots of resources online, and we're doing some editing as well to them to try and get the farm looking what we want, which is a challenge, because it can be if you're using multiple different assets. So I've asked the question, what's everyone's favourite zone area in any game? So feel free to let us know. Zelda's been a popular one. Loads of people have said Zelda games. I can't stay around for much today, unfortunately. I have to head to bed soon. But have a great stream, folks, and have a good one, bros. Thank you, Vikran, and I hope you have a good sleeps. But thank you for stopping by. I mean, even if you can't hang around, it's nice to have you stop by even for a little bit. I hope to see you again soon in the future. Yeah, for sure. Favourite of mine is Ice Cap down from Sonic 3. Ooh, Ice Cap, that sounds cold. Is it pretty? Icy areas can look super pretty. I love the map. Yeah, I'm making a note of all the answers people have and putting them in a notepad file, because some of them I haven't heard of or seen before, and I want to look. It's inspiring, I find, when I ask questions like this, because you can find out about different games, and it can help inspire things for this game too. I'm going to be getting my snack shortly because I'm a hungry one. I can smell dinner and it's making me hungry. Okay, so we're going to just shut it down and reload because we've just added some new assets, and we'll see how they look. So we've edited the tomatoes. We've just made the tomatoes look a bit more juicy now. And we've also had to make them match with our tomato character as well, which is this guy here. This little emo boy in the bottom corner. He's an emo tomato. And we wanted to make sure it looked believable that he grew from this plant. So we had to change the colour scheme a bit. And we've also done a blueberry one where this little guy came from. So we're going to add those to the farm now. Right, so we've got the blueberry ones. We're going to do those on the second map. So we've got a red scarecrow there that the tomatoes are behind because it looks pretty behind the red one, and I think we'll put the blueberries behind the blue one, which means we'll have to move the sunflowers somewhere else, I think, because I do like the sunflowers, but I really want the blueberries to be behind this blue scarecrow. We've chopped him off accidentally. Oh, I've chopped her off maybe. We don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. They might be gay scarecrows, but the blue one might be a girl and the red one might be a boy. We might want to swap round the typical gender colours, but there's been talk of perhaps turning them into gay scarecrows as well. We'll probably put up a poll to decide things like this. I remember the first time I found Warp Zone in Mario, I accidentally jumped over the top and my sister phoned the helpline to find out what it was. Oh my goodness, there's some good area zone in Soul Calibur. Oh, Soul Calibur. I've played one Soul Calibur game, the one on the Xbox 360. A fierce looking tomato, a badass, I would say. Yeah, he is. I mean, what do you guys think of these? We spent quite a bit of time making these guys. They were originally slimes, actually, and there was some very heavy editing that I did to turn them into fruits, and we ended up getting super over the top and giving them like their own sort of stereotype and personality as well. The lemon is like a bitter, miserable veteran with a scar on his face. Tomato's an emo boy. Plum is a mysterious professor. Blueberry's a cute little innocent, sweet birthday boy who wouldn't hurt a fly. He's the baby of the bunch. And Apple's just the boring, typical one. Just yeah, well, he's not boring. Some people's favourite is Apple, and I feel mean being mean to him. He's the leader. He's in the middle. Do you draw all the stuff or yourself with carrots and tomatoes? I mostly like, because this is like an epic RPG, it would be super time consuming to make everything from scratch myself, because I'm the only person building this project. So I do sort of get resources online that that are free to use. But a lot of the time I sometimes really want to take it further, so I edit them a lot. Is there the original asset of these guys somewhere? I did put them on the Twitter. Let me find the Twitter, because I posted a tweet about these a while ago. It's a bit lower down now though. Here. This is what they originally look like. This guy like designs. He's an artist for sort of battlers in the software I use. He has a Patreon, and I based on that. And I tweeted it. I subtweeted and says, we've done fruits now. They're fruits, and they look super cute. So we do that a lot. We tend to change things to our liking, because people are super nice and let you do that. They put their assets online and they say there you can use them in free or commercial games, and you can edit them however you want. And it's super nice that people out there exist, and really helps people for sure, because it just saves a lot of time. And we have barrels in our game too. We have a lot of barrels and I can't say the word, inanimate objects in our game, and they were like mostly made by me, mostly about 90% mine, but some of the facial assets were like from other characters or inspired by other characters. Mysterious Professor, they're so cute. Yay, thank you. The scar on that yellow one is so badass. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I actually really like him. He looks like an angry Pikachu, doesn't he? Like a very badass Pikachu. Oh my goodness, Kindred Dev, thank you so much for that raid. How are you guys doing? Say hi to everyone. Wishing, Faith, Aritek, Scary Harry, and Apple. Decide, Extreme Titan. How are you guys doing? Apple Fritters. We also have an apple here. he knew that you were coming. He summoned you. Welcome, guys. How you doing? Thanks for the raid. I appreciate that. Thanks for bringing your peeps over. Let's give a shout out to Kindred Dev. See what they were up to in their stream today. Oh, you were doing some just chatting. Tell us about your stream. How did it go? Hope you had a good one. And thanks for bringing your community over. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for all the follows as well. Appreciate that. And how dare you reveal my secrets. We've just been having a bit of a ramble today about a game, because in this stream, I build an RPG. In RPG Maker MV is the software that we use, and Twitch chat helped me a lot, helped me take the direction of the game in a certain way. We do a lot of polls related to the story and characters, and whenever we feel like it really, and whatever wins the poll is where we take it. So yeah, an RPG made by me that's very, very heavily input from Twitch chat. So if that's something that you think sounds fun, then we do have a command here and a website. Let's have a look at the website. It'll tell you a bit more info, but we got to get an FAQ page up still soon, so that's one thing we're lacking. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. And it was good. It was the Kickstarter launch event. Oh, was it? You got a Kickstarter? That's incredible. I just launched a Kickstarter campaign for my video game. I usually do 3D modelling for that game. That's awesome. Well, I want to see this Kickstarter. So put a link in the stream. I want to say, for sure, because that sounds pretty cool. And he went to eat sweet rolls with his fam. All these artist slimes, but no Bob Ross slime. Oh my goodness, imagine if there was. That's funny. That's very creative. Nice website, thank you. Do you guys have a base lore so far or a bit early? Good question. And I hope I'm not missing anything anyone said. If I have, then feel free to copy and paste. Because sometimes, especially when we've had a raid or anything like that, sometimes I end up missing some of chat. So, but that's a good question, Guz, about lore. I actually did release a lore video over the weekend. So if you'd like to have a look at that, it's only 3 minutes long. It runs through a bit of the lore in the game, and I'm going to regularly release lore videos whenever there's a time to talk about that. This game is very, and the streams in general are very, very much about storytelling and world building. It's definitely more about that than programming. Because the thing with RPG Maker MV, it's very code, very minimal when it comes to code. It tends to make things a lot easier for people to put a game together, which is why it's perfect for the nature of this project, because it allows us to focus more on the storytelling side and really creating some fun characters and creating an awesome, amusing story. But it might have dark themes too. But there's a lot of comedy in the game so far, but I want dark themes as well. I want it all. Howdy, I'm new here. Just a quick question. Is the game playable? What engine, etc.? Welcome. It's good to have you here. I have a command for the program. So it's RPG Maker MV, and there's a link right there for you to find out more about that software if you've not heard of it before. But it's very, very good for people who aren't really programmers or haven't really studied code. It's a good stepping stone into making a game, especially RPG. I've known about it since I was a baby. Since I was about 12, I've been messing about in RPG Maker. Now we are spamming. You guys are spamming, are you? Yeah, I see the Kickstarter. I'm going to actually save that link. I'm going to put it somewhere so I can have a peep at it later. These are all we got a question of the week thing now. And these are people's responses to what everybody's favourite zone or area is in any game. So I'm very intrigued to find out what everybody's favourite area in a game is, so I'm making notes of that. And as for the other part of your question, better about is the game playable? Not yet. It's going to be episodic, so you don't have to wait for a full game to be able to play this, which is a relief. You don't have to wait 10 years because that's probably how long it would take. But so episode 1, we're hoping for 2020. I want it to be at least a few hours content at minimum for people who just do the main quest. But for people that do side quests, I want it to be at least 12 hours probably, but maybe 4 or 5 hours for people who just do the minimum. I want it to, I don't want it to be too super short. I want enough content there. So for sure, we're hoping for 2020, but if it gets extended because we want to make sure it's perfect, that's fine as well. So yeah, exciting times. Episodic. Super good because it takes the pressure off and it lets people play something reasonably sooner than a few years down the road. It's a lot more fun to think that you don't have to wait forever. So yay. But yeah, if you want to be updated and find out how the development is going, then for sure the website or the YouTube or the Discord, any social media at all, the game is good to follow because that will always keep you updated. Okay, so should we carry on with what we're doing, folks? But thanks for all the questions, and I'm totally happy to answer any. Helps me think of things to add to the FAQ page as well for when it does get added to the website. Right, so these guys here, we've got them on the screen at the moment because we're actually making a farm right now, and we are making some crops, some fruit plants, and these guys were probably born in the farm. Well, the blueberry and the tomato were anyway. The apple and the lemon came from trees, so that might have been another area, because we kind of have a lot of sentient objects in our game. And if you watch the lore video, that expands more on why we have sentient objects in our game. There's a reason for it. We thought it all out. And we do improvise the story. We like to keep a bit of improvisation and doing it as we go along there. So there's room for people to come up with some really creative arcs and story ideas. I don't want to limit people by already having a complete story planned. So we do kind of keep it a sort of improvised thing, but at the same time we have ideas, and we are going to have a sort of plot that we follow. But yes, we're making crops. So this is our farming RPG maker. I'm going to just switch to this screen actually, because we're going to add the blueberries to this one. We're doing not too bad with the farm. We're probably about halfway through, I'd say. We want to definitely add more detail, so it will get turned into a parallax map eventually, which will allow me to, it won't restrict me to just using the tiles when I turn it into a parallax map, which allows me to be a bit more creative with what I can add. So I'm intending to add some wheel marks, because we can have a cart. It's like a road where wagons and carts go, and probably some muddy footprints and stuff as well. We have some piggies here as well on the other map. Super unique setup, liked it a lot. Yay! Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, also, what's the unique setup? I want to ask specifically what is unique in your opinion, because it's always good to know the answer to these things. Unique is definitely a big compliment, that's for sure. Okay, so this map is what we're doing, and these are our blueberries. So I probably will still make the leaves a bit darker so they match more with these. Actually, I think it'll just look nicer if we can get the colouring consistent. These trees as well, I forgot to change them to the same colour as this wood, so that's still a job to do as well. But I'm probably gonna put a mixture of fully grown blueberries in here with ones that aren't grown, so we'll spread them out. I don't like too many of the same type being together, so and if anyone's curious what background music we have in the streams, it's always Final Fantasy background music, because that is my franchise. We even have bit badges that are Final Fantasy inspired, which you could see in the panels. Also, I didn't say hi to Binary Ferret. How dare I? I just saw those Carol emotes and I was like, did Binary Ferret come in? And then I saw that you did. Yes. How dare I not say hi to Binary? I hope all is good, Binary. yeah. Oh gosh, we got all these up here as well. If it gets to the point, I probably will just do a copy and paste of these. So yeah, so it's less time consuming. Right, so Scarecrow was chopped off. Let's get him sorted, or her. I think it would probably look better if there was one of them plants behind them, actually. They're not 100% aligned correctly, so I'll have to alter that just a touch. Also, I want to check something. Just going to experiment. I'm wondering if we should have gaps in between, or whether they look fine bunched. So I'm going to just compare. Because our tomato plants have, like, as you can see, there's a bit of gapping, so that it looks like people can walk between them okay. But to be honest, with the I guess it's just opinion. I guess if you guys say if you think they look better together or with a line, feel free. Either could work, just depends if we like the space or whether we prefer not to have space. The Living Magic Boxes theme is something I never heard about. It's going to be interesting to know about a society and what kind of powers they have. Lots of freedom in that regard. Also how they're going to interact with people. That's a big thing as well, but that's me assuming things. Yeah, we can totally, because the lore that we've got in that video is stuff that we've definitely set in place and set in stone, but there's probably so many potential ideas people could have watching that video for where to take it, and that's what's so exciting about doing something like this and writing it as we go along, because if anyone ever does have cool ideas, I always like make a note of them and then create them and put them on a poll later when there's a good time to do that, and people vote for what they want to happen the most. It's a lot of fun. So there's already been a couple of ideas that have been suggested for how that plot can be taken, so I'm excited, that's for sure. And interacting with people is a good one. There's a lot of things sometimes people bring up that I haven't even considered myself, and the people interaction is one that did get brought up by someone else as well. And at the moment, I think we kind of see it as they hide themselves around people because they only show themselves around people they trust, or if there's ever a time when they want to show themselves, like Carol the Barrel. She has revealed herself to the hero, us, in the game, but she's probably a bit more, she wouldn't show herself just to any human. It's definitely the question of, are people aware that these sentient objects are alive, or is it all a big secret? But that's going to be interesting, because we'll have the opportunity to go to the village of this Everbloom forest and talk to the NPCs there at some point, and it'll open some quest lines, and it could some of them could be related to this, and maybe they're aware, some of them, that somebody did mention that maybe there's a lot have things mysterious, and people living in the village are like, it's strange how people, you know, the forests aren't as safe as they used to be, and people are going missing and getting attacked, and it's actually the trees and the plants that are harming them, and yeah, maybe they are aware that there's some goings on, but they're not aware of the full what is actually happening, and things are alive. Maybe some of them know, but maybe some villagers are in denial as well. But side quest is probably something we're going to do in the next month or two, I'd say, so that'll be lots of fun. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of freedom, definitely a lot of potential ideas that we could get. we kind of ramble on about this stuff in the Ideas Discussion channel. So let me just get that up because I want to be reminded of things. So this is where all the secrets are revealed here. So we ramble on about things. So if you want to join in, feel free to. Anyone's welcome to like suggest or bring up potential plots or anything at all. So much text here. Yeah, this was the bit I was talking about, what Zexian said back in December. He said, the Everbloom Forest has gotten dangerous recently. Multiple people talking about rumours of monster attacks starting half a dozen weeks ago, or merchants talking about the new dangers of their trade routes over the past few months, and a town elder talking about how she remembers frolicking in the woods 30 years ago before the very trees and plants started attacking humans. So that could be a route we go, where the villagers actually are aware that they are alive, and it's kind of made them paranoid and scared, so they're like hiding away in their village so they don't get hurt. Maybe because it's quite a recent development, it's only been in the last year that things have started coming to life. If you watch the video, you'll know about the timeline. So when 30 years ago is mentioned, that's probably a bit far away. We could always change that to say remembers being in the woods 2 years ago. It was never like that then. Everything was safe, but then all of a sudden things started attacking humans within the last several months. It's pretty nice initiative you had. Also, I want to congratulate you for going for it. I assume that making a game is not a walk in the park most of the time. No, and it makes it even more of a challenge doing it online and like recording yourself live doing it, for sure, because you're sort of exposing yourself to the world, showing them all your secrets, and it can be a very like daunting thing when you're creating something to show people that. So it definitely is, especially making it a community thing as well. I've had people come in and say, it must be like, sometimes when everybody's got input in something, it can turn into gobbledygook and turn into a big chaotic mess. And I think that's why it's super important that I manage it all well and make sure that the way I take this project is very organised. And if it screws up, if it goes wrong, that's on me, because I'm the one in control. And it's my job to make sure things don't go chaotic, and that I direct it all super well, so we end up with something awesome. And that's why we try and keep things in line by doing these piles. I think this is a really cool organised way of making decisions, and when the votes have been cast and we have a winner, that's what it is. People can't fight then, they can't argue and say, no, we wanted it to be like this though, because we're like, but we've done the poll, that one won, so that's that. I suppose it's important you gotta have some rules in place, otherwise that can always happen. And luckily that hasn't been an issue. Everyone here is super nice, very respectful that I'm the person making this, and nobody ever tries to take over or anything at all. And if they did, they'd have a stern talking to by me. Raindrops, oh, you're getting there. You're a drizzle. Going to be a shower soon. And yes, as for the raindrops, if you looked at the website, you can be a character in the game and you can fill in a character form once you've got the 500 raindrops in stream. And it might seem a bit daunting when you think, oh gosh, that's quite a lot of raindrops, but I'll tell you right now that there's one community member that managed to get 500 raindrops in 3 weeks. But it's different for everybody. Some people might take 6 months to get 500 raindrops, and it's all to do with how often you're in the stream and lurking, in all honesty. Some people just hang out all the time, so they get the raindrops faster. But there's no rush. I mean, there's about 12 character sheets that are in a queue for me to do, and there's no rush. This is a steady process, and just because you're slower at getting the raindrops or joining the community at a later date doesn't mean you're going to be left out and your character's not going to be in the game, because, you know, they will be eventually. This is a big game, a big world, and not all the characters are going to be in it immediately. Some won't appear until later episodes. We introduce an NPC slowly, so whenever there's a good point for them to come into the story. I'm gonna have to lurk a bit, keep doing awesome things. Thank you guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, and I hope the rest of your day goes well, and hope to see you again soon. What made you go with RPG Maker? Very easy to use, you can reasonably get something up and running at a reasonable speed. It doesn't take, it's not too like technical, if you know what I mean. There's not code, it's not heavy with programming, and I don't want these streams or this project to be code heavy, because there's no code in these streams. Like, you'll never see me coding. It's all about like I say, storytelling, world building together, nerding out about character ideas, and yeah, it's very storytelling focused, and so I didn't want to go away from that by ending up having to solve bugs all the time and be coding things all the while, because I think that's could prevent the creativity and be a bit more frustrating, especially as I'm not a coder myself. So that was just important for us to keep the project is not too code heavy, so we could focus on the things that we want to focus on, because so yeah, it was definitely good for that's for sure. Yay. Okay, so where are we now? We were putting our blueberries there, and sometimes, yeah, the streams aren't the most productive time for making the game either, because I do a lot of that off stream. I like to do all the chatting on the stream and discussion, so could be barely get anything done sometimes in some streams because of all the chatting, but I always like to show you guys what I've been doing in between streams, and that is why mostly I have 3 days off in the week. Well, I stream Monday to Thursday and I have Friday, Saturday and Sunday off. Mostly so I can get stuff done on those days. If I was streaming every day, it would be very hard to get productive and focused and actually get things done, because those days are very, very focused on me getting stuff done. Right. So for now, I might keep it like that, but I might change it. We'll see. Because I haven't decided yet if I prefer it looking more full or if I prefer having an empty row. We'll see. Haven't made up my mind yet. Right, is there anything else that we want to have? Also, these have to continue here as well. So let's get rid of those sunflowers, but what I am going to do is, I don't want to get rid of the sunflowers, I just want to put them on another map. So what I am going to do is put them here, I think, where the tomatoes currently are here, because we don't want the tomatoes on both maps, we only want them on the one. I want to have as much variation between the two maps as possible. So we got the tomatoes here, and on here we'll have the sunflowers. So I'm going to copy these and put them in. I'm going to, these sunflowers is a bit of a weird extra sunflower that I need to get rid of as well, because the pattern's not 100% perfected yet, but we'll get there. No, not like that. How did it look on the other map? Pymia, thank you for that follow. Welcome. Appreciate that follow. Started learning with some game dev and dipped my toes into pixel art. Never expected to actually have fun with it. Yeah, take it a step at a time. It can be overwhelming if you do too much. That's why ultimately I'm not like going, I'm going to do my own art, I'm going to do my own code, I'm going to do my own music, I'm going to do my own, like, if I was like that, I'd get burnt out. I'd have been burnt out already. So it's sometimes, yeah, you just focus on some areas and get resources elsewhere from other areas. And I was very much like, oh, this is about making a world. This is about making a cool story with a cast of cool characters. That's kind of my number one for wanting to do this project. So, because it's more heavy on writing, it was like, well, the actual asset making will have to take a back seat, because this wasn't about me being an artist or making assets. This is about storytelling. So it's all about what you want to do and what your passion is and what you want to focus on. And if you're into doing art and making assets, you should totally go for that. Whereas some people are like, really love making music, and other people love coding. And hi Rex, how are you doing? How's the stream going? Not too badly. Not too badly. We've been having some good chats, haven't we, guys? How is your day, Rex? As with everything, keep it simple. Yeah. So how does your team look like? Who is doing what? Well, it's just me, in all honesty. With the community, where they come in, they just talk in chat, come up with ideas, vote on polls, just talk in chat, really. There's no pressure on you guys to get heavily involved. Like, this is... it's not like we're a studio or anything where you guys are working for me as my slaves. So yeah, it's literally me. It's a solo project, but with very heavy input on decision making from the community in Twitch chat. So yes. So you do pixel art as well. So cool. I have done pixel art, like the emotes of our channel and the bit badges that have all been designed by me. So I could definitely say I do pixel art, but it's taking a back seat for this project mostly because wanting to focus on other areas of game making. Even though, won't deny it, will create assets if we have to. That is why Carol the Barrel was created by me and all the others, because we were like, well, we got to create some really cool sentient object characters, and you can't exactly type in Google Images sentient barrel and you'll have them come up. There's no such thing in the whole world of characters as a sentient barrel. There might be. If there's a game or a story out there that has a sentient barrel, then please let me know. But as far as I'm aware, there isn't, which means there wasn't any resources available that anybody had. So I had to create my own in that situation, but it was fun. It allowed me to be creative, and I had a lot of it was a good time, and we'll do that in the future if we have to make characters ourselves too. But I'm trying to not go over the top with it and do absolutely everything like that, which is why when it comes to doing environments like this, we just we see what's out there, and there's loads. There's a whole forum of people giving assets. I'm glad you're pretty good. That's good to hear. I'm surprised I haven't gone for my snack today, actually, because I was really hungry earlier, but I'm not now. Does that happen to you guys ever? You get hungry and then you're full? My dinner's soon though. Okay, so we're putting the sunflowers here now instead, and it feels a bit gappy if I leave it like that, but it also feels a bit close if I put that there, so I might have to edit the positioning of those sunflowers in Photoshop so we can get them how we want. So we're just moving the sunflowers over here to this side, because we've put blueberries where the sunflowers used to be. So now we'll replace them. What's for dinner? Surprise. I don't even know yet, which is what it's like most days, because that's what happens when you don't socialise and you're stuck in your room. You never know what's going on elsewhere in the house. Because I haven't been downstairs since about four hours ago now. I'm not in with the discussion. I'm in my own little world. Okay, so there's gaps at the moment, but I might fill the gaps out. I haven't decided yet with these blueberries. Sometimes I have to give my eyes a break from looking at them and come back and see, because that's happened. I thought that looks cool, and then I've turned it off for an hour and put it back on, and I thought, nah, that looks lame, and I've changed it. Okay, so because it might look nice with the gaps filled in, to be honest. I don't know, but they're a bit, we don't want them looking all the same. We want to change them, put some variety in a bit. Right, other than that, is there anything else we need to do? There was a few crops that I mentioned. I'm trying to remember what they were, because we got some gap. Oh, wheat, not hay, sorry, wheat. That could be good, and I think I might want to change these as well to something else, some of them anyway. Hi Don't Fudge, welcome to the stream, thank you for the follow. Hope your day is going okay. Uncreative, welcome. How you doing? I'm sure you are creative though. I'm sure you're creative. Your name must be ironic like mine. I'm just called Rose Blue because I want to try and be badass and pretend to people that I'm someone you shouldn't mess with because I'd rain blood, but I'm actually a sweetheart. So, doing well, just settling down to lunch. Oh, what lunch you got? Now I want food. This username was a last-ditch effort to get a username for Steam that wasn't taken. Oh, really? It's a good name. It's a good name, but it should be Creative Automaton. Because you're creative, I know you are. I can sense these things. Pizza, oh, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yum. I'm excited for food now. So it's coming close to my dinner time. So we have some hay here. Why do I keep calling it hay? It's wheat. It is wheat, isn't it? I'm like, is it? Because sometimes I'm like that. I always get things wrong. So where is it? Let's look. somewhere. Oh, here it is. So I think this is very pretty and will look very pretty on our farm, but it's very difficult to make it as a tile set. But you got to just do it a certain way. It's not very difficult, it's just you got to set it up properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just shift these here, get out of the way a bit. So what I'm intending to do, we got hay here, but the thing is it only is 6 tiles of hay. 6 for this and 6 for this one. It's not hay, it's wheat. Stop saying hay. For God's sake. I'm sick. This is hay. This here. Yeah. Carpenter by trade, and I volunteer at Makerspace. Ooh. Oh, cool. So you're good at DIY then. Something I have never been good at. Ever. Right, so yeah, that covers 6 tiles. So the problem at the moment is when we put this in on our map is we don't get it how we want because it does that. What I want is it not looking like that. I want it to not have gaps. I want it to be just wheat everywhere. We might have gaps in some places, but I wouldn't want it to be like that where it's so precise. So what we have to do, I think what we have to do to get it how we want is one sec. Actually, I have an idea. I don't know if this is going to work. I've just thought of it. We could do this. Oh no. Well, it sort of has worked, but we've still got gaps. But it was to just put them at the top and then have the middle one everywhere, and then it doesn't look beautiful. Well, it doesn't look 100% to my liking, but let's just see. So yeah, just a little bit. If it wasn't for that bit there, it might look better like that. But you can see there's a clear pattern every single tile, and that's what puts me off. I'd rather it look more seamless. So we've got to just make a bit of an edit, I think, so we can look a bit prettier. Other than that, the sunflower pattern needs a slight edit too, because it's a little bit on the messy side. These crops here, some of them I might change a few of them. And as for this map, obviously we don't want the same plants either here. There's just a few little colour scheme things I want to change as well, and add the trees. Change the colour of these trees here. So just some really small edits now. The goal, I'm definitely going to do some off stream tonight, and I'm hoping tomorrow, all going well, we can move on to turning this into a parallax map. I think that'd be super cool to screenshot this map and bring it into Photoshop and really manipulate it more, and just do more to it that we can't do on the tiles, because we are very restricted using tile sets. There's a lot of stuff we can't do. So there's a few things I've got in mind that I want to do to this map, but we'll have to bring it into Photoshop to do that. But we're getting close to that stage now. We're just kind of tidying things up a bit, getting the crops in position, and then all the extra detail stuff can come later. Thank you for the follows, by the way, Blues and Og. I appreciate that. How are you guys doing? And because we've got so many people from the wonderful, generous raise that we had today, I want to make sure all of those of you who are lurking do see our website. And oh yes, YouTube channel too. The YouTube, just so you know, folks, I haven't really talked about that much today. I upload every single VOD, every single stream I ever have on there for this project. As you can see in the title, we're on stream 110 today. So we've got every single stream on there from the very first. So if you are curious what we did in the early streams and you want to see a bit of the development, of course, I don't expect people to watch every single VOD. It's hundreds of hours. Absolutely, well, thousands of hours now probably. So, you know, it's only if you want to have a little look. It would take all your life if you watched all of them. But other than that, I do upload sneak peeks, which means little short previews of things in the game, such as cutscenes, battles, and dialogues, walking around towns and dungeons. Anything like that will be in the sneak peeks. We've only got the custom hero preview at the moment, but over time I'll slowly add more to that. And we also have the story so far section playlist on our YouTube, which will literally get updated every time we have an update to the story. And that's where I narrate what's happened in the story so far. And the next one in that I'm going to make that probably next month sometime, when we do finish the next part of the story. And then we got the lore section as well, which I started this weekend, and we've got the one video in there. Yay. So thanks guys, thanks for hanging out. Okay. So there's a lot of messy stuff to do today. Lots of little bits and bobs again. We've got the wheat thing I'm trying to sort out. We've got a view of the assets I need to make edits to. So I might do all that messy stuff off stream. But one thing that probably will be good to do today, just before we finish, would be to change the colours of the trees to the same as what the fence is, because that's something I've been meaning to do for a while and I actually keep forgetting to do. So just need to find the correct asset for that. It's somewhere here. Open it up in Photoshop. Okay, it's here. These are some gorgeous trees made by Panda Maru. We'll probably consistently use these trees throughout the game, just because it's very important to me for the game to not look too different. I don't want us to go to another area and it to feel like it's from a whole new game. That destroys immersion. So I'm going to try my hardest with the assets we do find to keep them looking like they belong in the same game. And these are trees I found I really like, and we have some green ones in our forest maps from earlier on in the game, but for the farm we've got ones that have this more autumn look. But one thing you might have noticed, I don't know, some of you have, is that the wood, I did recolour this wood. It was a bit duller before, but it's a very kind of reddish brown now, so I want to make sure that the trees have that same reddish brown, because otherwise where would the fences how would they be made? So we're going to make it look like it came from that wood, and because we want the colour schemes to match, so let's grab one of our fences. We'll just stick it above it and then we'll be able to hopefully change the colour easy. Now we've got to be careful here that we don't get changing colours that we don't want to change. If I grab all that tree. We'll only change the colour of the tree, but it has grabbed some other areas on the tile set. I mean, it's grabbed all the tree trunks, which is great, but some of it we don't want, so we might need to do this the longer way and untick that box there and do just the bits that we want so that things don't get super messy. I could increase the tolerance a bit, I think, for this, because so many little tiny pixels. So put it to 32. Cruzy, hope I said your name right. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? Right. So I'm actually gonna, yeah, I won't edit that one directly. I'll just make another layer of it, just in case I screw up. So just that alone has changed the colour a bit. Let's do it more. So just as you can see, it's gone from a more green trunk, because it was totally green before, to a to a more reddish colour trunk, and it's much closer to the colour of the fence now, and it'll look all more consistent. I mean, it's not the exact colour I want. I might want to darken it a bit so it doesn't blend too closely, and when the fence is in front of it, but that is kind of what we're aiming for with some of the recolouring. But it's a little bit, is it a bit messy? There's a few, I mean, what's this here? Yeah, there's a few messy areas. When you zoom in, you can see this messy bit here. So this is what I mean about just editing. You can sometimes spend a lot of time really just sorting out things. But I mean, that's my job today off stream. I'm gonna be doing some editing, getting all the farm just right, so we can move on to the next stage. The detail stage with the map, the parallax mapping, and then we can finally finish the map. Have you been to our stream before, Tom? You have, haven't you? I recognise your name. Yeah, you've been here before, and you said the same thing then as well. I thought you were the same person. I have a good memory. So I've clicked your name, your old messages, and you said the same thing on the 4th of August 2009, and also said the same thing in 2008. Is that the only way you make conversation with people? Just curious. You're not. You can't fool me. Not 2009, 2019. Imagine if it was then. That would be weird. Twitch didn't even exist. I'd be the first person ever on this website. Okay, folks, so just one sec. Yeah, just I've got my eye on you, buddy. I think you're lying to me, so don't lie to me, okay? I don't want to be fooled. That's why I've got Rainblood as my surname. Right, so we're gonna go and say hi to somebody, because we're ending stream now. We're closing things up, and I think we should do a raid. So who wants to join in with a raid, guys? Does anyone want to join in? Little creepy, maybe cut it out. Yeah, I do remember names very well. I mean, sometimes I don't. Not all the time, but sometimes names stick out to me. And as soon as you came in today, I remembered who you were. And that's why I clicked on your name and looked at your previous messages. And you've been saying the same thing over and over again. The same thing every stream. So, you know, I don't have weirdos here. We have nice people. Maybe I'm being harsh, but it's just... It's just a weird thing to keep saying. Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to ban you or anything, but just be careful when discussing location, because it's a very personal thing to people online. You know, people can get stalked, and people keep those things private when we people on the internet. So that's just another reason as well to just location. It's not always the best subject to break the ice with. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, this isn't a serious enough issue for me to say you're banned. So just giving you just letting you know is all. But hi Cornelius, how you doing? She lives on Twitch. But you guys agree with me. I mean, I'm not on my own here. This is just Twitch etiquette, you know. It's maybe you just don't know, and that's fine. Maybe it's just ignorance. But that's why, you know, we just say, so you just know. Rain. How are you doing, Cornelius? It's really good to see you. Long time no see. I hope you've been well. Okay, folks, so I am going to end things here, but I'm going to pass this on to somebody else. I'm going to have a look who's online. Exclamation mark raid, guys. So it would be super cool if you joined in and said hi. And who are we going to say hi to today? Final Fantasy VII is a game I really like, so I think we should go say hi to that streamer. Inochi Fantasy. So raid. So come along, say hi, and be nice. Be super nice, because she's a really nice person. And I will see you all tomorrow for another stream. Have an awesome day, guys. You are all the best. Thanks for hanging out and for all the follows. Appreciate you all.